Once you drop your ballot into one of these drop boxes, what happens to it? Is it secure? And how do you know? I spoke to the Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder George Stern just a few days ago to really outline this whole process. He takes us through the journey of your ballot from once it's in this box to the moment it's counted. And he says the county hires 700 employees to make it happen. Police are trying to make sure the school is safe. We also have been mentioning that the suspect is nowhere to be found at this point. We don't know who that person is, whether it's a student, whether that's an adult. We do know 2 adult victims, but they do say the number of victims in this case is still unknown other than those 2.
So let's get out to Cmoore. And Carly, just before I even hand this over to you, I do want to let you know we're waiting for that news conference to start. So we'll jump in if it starts while you're kind of in the process here. So what's going on at the evacuation center right now?
Sure, of course, Kirk, Ashley, I know we want to get everybody the latest information on this quarry fire because the last update we have was it was about 100 acres and that nearly 600 homes have been evacuated, but people who are displaced are being sent here to Dakota Ridge, and more people continue to show up here this morning, kind of hanging out in the parking lot and then going inside to take advantage of some of the resources here. But take a look at this video. This is from a viewer who actually decided not to evacuate. I want you to take a look. We're at the trading post outside of Red Rocks. You can see that white stuff covering that grass. That is all hail, and I tried to pick up some of it to show you exactly the size. Some of it is melded together at this point because we're continuing to get a good amount of rain. But here's kind of a piece of it. You know, obviously it's pretty wet and it's probably shrunken a little bit by now. But the question is really, should Arapahoe County accept new permits for oil and gas, or should they put a pause on it for about 6 months? This is what the public has a chance to weigh in on this morning at 9:30. Still a little bit of a police presence, but I do have to say things have cleared up a little bit out here at the Colorado Supreme Court building. What we know is that a call came in shortly after 1 o'clock this morning, and as you said, there was a breach at the Supreme Court. Shots were fired by the suspect. That's what we know from Denver police. Now, DPD as well as State Patrol are here on scene investigating. Said to be the amount of time that police officer kneeled on George Floyd's neck. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. It was silent out here. Now the chants have continued again. The investigation is still very active here at the STEM school as police comb through the inside trying to find any evidence to point to a motive. This is where it all ended, here in the Belmar Shopping Center, right out front of this really popular pizza place. You can see here is places called The Rock, and you can see their windows now boarded up from what we believe to be gunshots that blew them out. It's mostly cleaned up, but you can still see a little bit of broken glass that's kind of been crunching under my feet all morning. There is a couple of windows that are boarded up. Take a look. Here's another one. You can see just the plywood covering the window there. A man is now in custody after pursuit with law enforcement in multiple counties just after noon today. You heard him there speaking that the suspect's body was found last night around 7:45 at the Main Recycling Corporation in Lisbon. They said they checked that property multiple times. It's been just over a month since the El Paso County Sheriff's Office responded to a murder-suicide in Monument. The woman was allegedly killed by her husband.
Oh man, it's picking up in downtown. You know, they're trying to make their way home, Kirk, Ashley, and I don't know if it's going to get any better for them on their way here.
Is it quiet a little bit, Kirk, Ashley? Good morning. But there's some people warming up. I mean, the stage is set. Take a look. NBA Finals signage up already.
The president just landed, what, a few seconds ago there, Carly?
Drew, good morning. Yeah, so there are 2 planes, I believe. This one just touched down moments ago. You can see that our vantage point has been moved to the runway here. Really cool to see this. Of course, Biden was expected to land at 11:55, currently 11:54 right now. So, but we do believe that there are 2 planes traveling here today. So this might be the one the president's on.
Now, I'm a little bit afraid I'm not going to be able to keep my composure during this whole time. But the reason why we're doing this is because it's One Price Wednesday, which means everyone who comes out here, it's at $10 to get in and you get unlimited. Oh, goodness.
I don't touch ballots. The full-time staff isn't doing it. It's your neighbors. It's people you run into at the grocery store, at daycare pickup, at church.
Meet George Stern. He's the Jeffco clerk and recorder, and he's the answer guy on everything elections, like what happens to drop off ballots.
At the drop box, these judges are opening the box. They're putting that ballot in a secure transport bag.
Then once back at the facility,
You had to badge in onto this floor, which is in an underground basement in our secure facility here. You then had to badge into the room itself. You're on 24/7 surveillance the minute you step foot onto this floor.
the envelopes go through this sorting machine twice. The first time, it's taking a picture of your signature.
Just a very fast camera going chick, 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 chick.
Once signatures are verified, the envelopes take their second trip through the sorter. Those approved are sliced open. Those not approved are set aside. Now, when it comes to who you voted for, Stern says that process is anonymous.
Even if they did catch a glimpse of it, they're not looking at that ballot. They're passing that ballot to a different person across the table.
Then it's off to the counting room.
It's certainly the most secure room in our elections process.
So exclusive, only 4 people have access to it.
It's the senior election staff members. No person would ever be in here alone.
In addition to physical security measures, there are cyber protections as well.
You'll see behind me here 8 different stations where there are scanners hooked up to computers. Those computers are never connected to the internet, never, never, never. And so that count is what's then coming through a closed network to a central computer right here that's then actually tabulating those votes. That tabulation is not available until 7 p.m. on election night.
Adams County is cleaning up their community. After community meeting today, the graffiti team will be allowed to also help out in the city of Brighton. Carly Moore is on it.
A small crew in Adams County, leaving their mark on their community by removing others.
And that's what most of it is, it's just scribble.
The graffiti removal team has a very important job.
The county at the time didn't like the fact that we were double victimizing citizens. They would wake up, their fence, their business is tagged. We would then send them a violation letter and say, if you don't remove the graffiti, we're going to fine you.
Now, the graffiti program doesn't fine anyone, and they'll paint over it for free.
It's just a good feeling that we can go out and change the face of a county day by day by day and go home knowing, you know, they're not seeing that stuff out there.
Ryan Dodge is not the only one canvassing the community for tagging. There's also a seasonal program that hires people who are in a bad spot.
We wanted to do a pilot program that allowed people that might have more of a criminal background or coming off the streets an opportunity to get a job, a steady paycheck, work for the government, get some skills, build their resume, and ultimately hope for them to go on to full-time work.
David Halbert is just one example of that.
You can definitely see the difference between unincorporated and what's not unincorporated. Right there speaks for itself, just being proactive.
He found the graffiti program and now has a full-time job as a code compliance officer at Adams County.
It meant the world to me. I mean, I was going through hard times. Me and my wife, we were just pinching pennies trying to get by until we got on the program, and it just saved my life.
You could say this program left a mark on him.
Move to approve.
Unanimous. Thank you very much, Commissioners.
With high praise and a swift vote from Adams County Commissioners, the graffiti team in Adams County now has the approval to do their work in Brighton and make their mark in that community as well. In Adams County, I'm Carly Moore.
This was a safe space to come and be with horses.
A stable in Parker
How tall do you think Flower is?
turns into a place to learn and heal.
The horses are really the therapists. I'm a facilitator. I facilitate the horses and the people.
Their love is unconditional. Boy.
A hug from a horse might be just what the doctor ordered. 10 senior communities across the metro bring their residents who get to measure, pet, and brush the animals.
So here's your grooming bag.
This program is called Equine Elders. It's funded by a Next 50 annual grant. They say the goal of the program is to stimulate memory and provide a sense of calm and well-being, something Mary Sloka, the program director, has seen firsthand.
They come with a lot of anxiety and stress, depression, and when they leave, that goes away. It does help them create new memories.
Or recall old ones.
It takes me back to the time on the farm.
That's a nice outfit.
And Grandpa still had one pair of horses.
In a short time, with a parting gift, it's back on the bus. Improvements to the mood of these seniors are documented, but the smiles are hard to quantify.
I think you made a new best friend.
I hope so, yeah.
In Parker, Carly Moore, 2 Prime News.